Well, what can you tell us about the status of actually rebuilding the temple? I mean, they've been making preparations for a long time. What's been happening lately?
The biggest thing you've got uh, stop to consider on the top of the Temple Mount. There's Dome of the Rock. There's the Aqsa Mosque, and there's several Muslim shrines here and there. The visible evidence on the top of the Temple Mount is of the temple is very little,
Hmm.
and so what we have to go from is text. Now, I say from text there are tunnels, there are cisterns. If you have a cistern indicates has a function. You don't just have a well out there. It's a matter of a building usually set over that cistern, and that building has a function. And
Hmm.
so I'll give you an example. Uh, there is a cistern that has an Arabic name called Bir Es Sawani, all right, which means
Yeah.
cistern of the fire rock. Now, we have a building that is called, in Hebrew, it's called the Beit HaNitzos. And the Beit HaNitzos, I got a model here,
Oh.
and that would be, this is the inner courtyards, and there are corner buildings, okay? So
Okay.
this building, this is the north side, this is the south, back here's the
Okay.
west, and here's the east. And so this building on the northeast corner is called the Beit HaNitzot. Right below this location is this cistern, Bir Esawani. And Bir Esawani, if we translate that, it means cistern in the Nitzots. Okay?
Okay.
So we're able to find where this building is, and then we take the text, and we know based on the text it was either on the northeast corner or the northwest corner, and so that told us it's the northeast corner. That's how we'll have information, and so all you've got is text for the most part. A few archaeological pieces, but being able to put it together to be able to come up with this massive buildings. Now realize the Temple Mount is 35 acres. It's gigantic. It was the largest temple compound in the entire ancient world,
Wow.
bigger than anything that Rome had, anything that Egypt had. And so the to do that, that's what we've been working on. We have a lot more that we have to discover. But the bigger thing is the people. The people, to them, the Kotel, the Western Wall, that was the place. We have 613 commandments. 276 of the commandments are going to be directly related to the temple. In other words, without a temple, you can't do them.
Hmm.
And so we've got to get these. That's one of the reasons we have so much disharmony in the world, because the temple, when the people's hearts are right, then it brings prosperity and peace to the world. And so the heart of the people has to change. The people have to know not only do we have the right to pray, but we need to pray at this place. It's before God's throne. And that has to become a primary thing. And that is in motion. There's a great move of God that is coming about as a result of the October 7th war. You know, everybody keeps up with the red heifers or hears about the red heifers and knows that there's red heifers out there. Okay? Have to have a red heifer. And they've got the candidates. So it will be the timing of God. I have no idea when they'll slaughter those red heifers. What I do know is that when it is the correct time, God will have a red heifer. We have to have a Sanhedrin, because the Sanhedrin has to appoint the Kohen Gadol, the high priest, that will appoint the Kohen that will slaughter the red heifer. Not just, you have to have a Kohen that is raised in a special environment. He was born in a corpse-free environment. This is
Yeah.
spoken of in the Tractate Parah, the Mishnah. And so he grows up in that environment. He's not allowed to go out in other places. You have to have all the elements. People have to learn the ceremonies. For the reality is, most Jews would not know the protocols of the temple and how that you do the various rules. They're tremendous rules. The amount that we have to learn is enormous. But God can accelerate our learning by opening up new discoveries, opening up new understandings. And right now, I have a research team. We meet weekly, and we are on the verge of one of the major, probably one of the biggest new breakthroughs in understanding the temple. That when we get this all worked out, we will be able to show exactly where the altar was to a millimeter. We'll be able to show where the temple building was to a millimeter. We will be able to work out where all the various buildings are, the courtyards, all of these various things. So God can make it happen, but it's going to come from Him, through Him, and but it can go real fast. There's a lot to do, and in a normal sense, it would take years, but it could be done by God in a very short while.